Hey, everybody. I'm Sam Osterhout, the executive producer here at Lincoln Square, and I'm joined by the assistant manager over at Antifa, Mr. Cliff Cash. Cliff, how you doing?
Hello.
How's Antifa working out these days?
Hello, everybody. Antifa is great. I was just drinking some adrenochrome with Nancy Pelosi.
Mhm.
We did a human sacrifice, and now we're headed into red states to try to turn everybody gay and take their guns away.
Is it
It's gonna.
easier to turn people gay or trans or woke or all three?
We're going for all three and
Mhm.
vegan, and
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna make everybody dye their hair purple, especially their really terrible looking goatees.
yeah. A lot of goatees in red states.
It is this combo, this mustache goatee
Yep.
combo, no
Yep.
hair, mustache goatee
Yep.
combo, terrible, terrible 1992 sunglasses.
Yeah, the kind that once looked very sporty. Maybe Coach Taylor wears them, you
Yeah.
know? You know what I'm talking
Hmm.
about?
Hmm.
I'm rewatching that right now with my daughters. Friday
Nice.
Night Lights, baby.
Yeah. Haven't
Red,
thought of that in years.
Red State Dream. Uh, but with a liberal twist.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
I never thought of that. I might have to rewatch it now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What's the liberal twist? Treating people equally or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think it's, like Coach Taylor has this, guys, we're getting off base, but I don't care because I'm here for this. Coach Taylor has this, like, the sort of uh I don't know. I don't know how to even put it. I come from Kansas, so kind of in that little zone.
Hmm.
The kind of like redneck individualist man with a lot of honor and dignity, always doing
Yeah.
the right thing kind of stuff. But when
Yeah.
you're always doing the right thing for your people, that actually reads very liberal. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
totally. 100%.
Right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you have needs and you have needs. Let's see if we can get these needs met. It's not a very conservative thing these days.
Yeah, I talked about this in a speech I gave in DC in November at our Remove the Regime rally, which is the last time you and I talked.
Yep.
My brother is a writer. My brother is a very successful novelist, Wiley Cash, but he also writes for a lot of magazines. And I don't remember what magazine it was, but he wrote an article early into this Trump nightmare. And the sort of the premise of the article, the story, was that he was glad that our dad passed away before we had to watch him vote for Trump and realize that all the stuff he taught us he didn't really mean.
Oh,
All the stuff about kindness and fairness and honesty and humility and compassion and morals, and that it would have been heartbreaking for us to see all that go out the window as this man that we sort of lionized shows us that it was all bullshit. And that, I think that has been a really uh, grief filled part of this journey for so many people, to see people that we really held in high esteem completely step over their values every day to lick the boots of this soft-handed pedophile in a diaper.
and at least their stated values, right? Like this
Yeah.
this idea that, oh, this is how the world ought to work, I'm going to live my life this way, and it comes down to that sense of accountability. Like, oh, well, if you do something wrong, you ought to be held accountable for it. But that's not at all the case.
Unless you're on my team,
Yeah, yeah, and then go hog wild. All right. Uh,
if you hurt another straight white male who is rich, you should be held accountable for that.
yeah,
Not if it's a lady or a colored person,
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Oh, 100%.
But it
It's
also, I mean, look, I want to talk about the State of the Union because this just happened
sure.
last night. I know we all watched it with bated breath, and it was exhilarating, record breaking evening for all of us. But I think that piece, like, I want to linger on that a minute because it does seem like all of the values that my granddad and all the folks I grew up with who talked about fairness and talked about like we don't need handouts or all this kind of thing, that this, that, and the other. Maybe it was always just about race, right? And now, the
And
administration
misogyny.
says it. They're saying it. They're tweeting out, this is what a beach looks like when 100 million people are deported. And
Yeah.
there aren't 100 million immigrants, right? They're talking about
Yeah.
brown people. That's it. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they have this real crazy false narrative. I mean, I saw, I think it was Charlie Kirk, honestly. Nobody gets their news from him anymore, but uh he had a tweet or something that I saw where he said Biden let 30 million illegal immigrants into the country. And I'm like, dude, the highest estimate I've ever heard from official government sources at that there's like 14 million tops, period. And you're telling your followers that Biden let 30 million in his 4 years. It's so acutely and intentionally dishonest. And
Yes.
this Nick Shirley child is doing the same thing now. I just saw a video of him out in California in
Yep.
front of a FedEx office, and he's saying 30 people are registered to vote at this FedEx office. Well, when you zoom the camera up, there's 30 apartments above the FedEx office. I mean, it's like it's it's the Fox News model, and now the entire cult has adopted it. Lie, lie as loud as you can 100 times, and if somebody forces you to retract the lie, tell the truth quietly at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and never mention it again. It's like
Or not ever cop to it, not ever,
right.
and or just say, oh, you know what? Like, I see people are fact checking me, but there's a lot of nuance here that these people aren't, that these left wokest
Yeah,
communist socialists are not, allowing for this. Like, this is a very nuanced piece.
yeah.
No, there's no nuance here. You're just fucking lying.
And there's only like three people on the right that would even be articulate enough to use the word nuance.
Right. Nuance sounds like a French breakfast you got to eat in
Yeah.
a blue state. Yeah.
I don't know why you're using gay French words. I don't know what nuance is. If you're trying to belittles me,
I don't like that.
I don't know why
So,
you're saying words like evidently, but it's starting to piss me off.
yeah, we should do we should have a talk one day about all the ways people mispronounce certain words, like
Oh yeah.
supposedly.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Uh, and just when people get cliches wrong, like
Mm,
I could care less. Like, well, that means that you care a significant enough amount that you could care less.
yeah,
The
yes,
expression is you could not care less.
I could care less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it just goes right by, just
Oh,
goes right by.
totally.
Yeah,
I'd say it's 50-50. Like I'd say half the people get it wrong.
yeah, I think that's probably right.
Because we're
Um,
usually busier talking than we are thinking. And we're definitely busier talking and thinking than we are listening.
oh, that's for sure. So speaking of talking and listening and not listening, State of the Union. Did you watch?
Man, I did not watch. I would have if I'd known that we were gonna chop it up on that. I know enough. I know what
Yeah,
the actual State of the Union is. I didn't watch it because I wanted to contribute to the low ratings. But
yeah,
I plan on watching the important sound bites today through various platforms. What I did see was Al Green once again having more of a spinal cord than every other soft, feckless coward in our Congress. And I like these people. Like I like Yasmin Crockett a lot. I like
yeah,
AOC a lot. I like Moskowitz a lot, aside from the fact that he voted to censor Al Green last time he had a spine and that he's a
right.
shill and a simp for Israel. But I like a lot of these people a lot.
Yeah,
But
there it is there.
none of them are brave enough. I mean, there should have been people standing up during that and saying, "You're a rapist. You're a rapist. You harmed children. Literally every Democrat in Congress they should have all been forcibly removed. They should have all shown up wearing Renee Good and Alex Preddy masks. I mean, like the fact that they aren't doing stuff to completely disrupt everything the Republicans do every single fucking day is infuriating to me. To even remotely pretend it's business as usual is infuriating, I think, to most Americans. And people are telling me to run for office. And for the record, I don't want to at all. But the reason they're telling me that is because I get online and I say, fuck these people. This is Nazi shit.
Yeah.
We need to physically remove them from office and put them in prison. And people are like, please run for office. Because they want people to do more than talk good. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett can dress somebody down with the best of them. And so can AOC and so can Raskin and a lot of these other people. But they want people to like disrupt, like jam up the gears of this Nazi bullshit and jam it up so efficiently that nothing can be accomplished without your participation until we are able to remove them. Like,
I mean,
watching Dems vote for ICE funding makes me want to rip a tree out of the ground. I mean, it's like,
what?
are you kidding me?
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Gestapo, terrible. It needs to be reformed, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we actually need no Gestapo. We need it to go away. Look, I think here's the thing. You, I think one thing that's very maddening, and I know talking good is a great thing, and it can inspire, and it can motivate, and it can
100%.
drive people to rallies and do all that kind of stuff. But when you're saying like, look, the house is on fire, and then somebody says, let's put it out, and you're like, I mean, that's you just don't understand. It's a little difficult to do that. You know, like we don't want to disrupt what they're doing over here. Like maybe we just need to reform the fire.
Yeah, we're gonna put it out this fall if they let us.
Yeah, right. No, look,
if the people that started the fire let us put it out in the fall, that's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Good luck. Good luck.
I think they probably will. I think that they lit it, but I'm pretty sure they're going to let us. They're probably real scared of us.
Yeah,
putting out that fire. You know, the other thing is, look, when QAnon sprang up, and when people thought that, when conspiracy theorists and MAGA and weirdos thought that there was a sex trafficking ring for children in the basement of a pizza place, some guy showed up and shot it up. Right? He was like, and I feel terrible for that guy because he was totally bamboozled. But if you believe that there are children being like their blood is being drained in the basement of a pizza place, you have a moral duty to go stop that, right? If you are so certain about that, probably you should check your facts first before you do that kind of stuff. But you do. And so the Democrats are doing this thing where they're like, the Trump administration has a basement full of kids. They're all pedophiles. I can't wait to do something about this, possibly mid next year.
Yeah.
It doesn't resonate. It sucks.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. And it's like, I think that people who are politically informed and involved, people who are consuming the podcasts and the social media and maybe even legacy media are seeing this like weakness and ineffectiveness. And I mean, anybody who's relatively intelligent, we know that you're doing some stuff. Yeah. We know y'all are trying to pass some legislation. Sure. And we know that like half of you are ready to support less than half of you are ready to support impeachment. We know you're doing something, but pretty much every citizen feels like you're not doing enough. And impeachment would literally be the bare minimum. And this talking point of like, well, it's just not realistic. We don't have the numbers. Well, there was a time when we didn't have the numbers to release the Epstein files. 211 Republicans voted not to release the Epstein files. When they finally realized that the political fate of this thing was it was going to happen regardless, and you're going to look like an absolute trash ball if you don't support it, then things shift. And so No Republican, including even Massey or whoever else, is going to support impeachment until every Democrat does. But once every Democrat does, and this nightmare of pedophilia and illegal tariffs, illegal wars, illegal murders continues to snowball, there will be a time when, if every Dem is supporting impeachment, people like Tillis and Massey and other remotely level-headed people are going to go, you know what? We're 16 away or whatever it is. You know, if we got this many Republicans, man, we just got to get 16 people. You know, John hates him. Look at these people.
Yeah.
I would say 2/3 of Republicans in Congress probably at night in bed before they fall asleep go, I fucking hate this guy. He's such a piece of shit. I don't want to do this
Yeah, I
anymore.
hate that I have to do this. That I stood up every 3 minutes at the speech last night for the dumbest things. And look, it goes back to our
gross.
accountability thing, right? That you know, our parents or grandparents were like, you do the right thing no matter the consequences.
Yeah.
Right. And the Republicans are not living up to that standard at all. And you know, the Democrats aren't necessarily either. And you know, I love your idea of Dems having gone in last night with Pretty and Good masks and screaming you're a pedophile every time. And I don't know if you watch basketball or not, but I like college basketball. And there's teams that just don't play defense. You know, they just get threes rained down on their heads and they're not guarding. That's how you lose. You have to disrupt. You always have to disrupt.
And the Democratic base, although I know it's diverse and broad, they're done with that. Like 99% of people who vote Democrat or will are really, really done with this weak, cowardly, feckless nonsense. Because, you know, Democrats are, let's use a basketball metaphor. Democrats are trying not to travel and not to foul and not to double dribble. And Republicans are running down the court with a machine gun in both hands, shitting on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's like, what has to happen to you? What has to happen to you and your family and your constituents before you realize you are still following rules that they stopped following 15 years ago? Snap out of it. Throw some cold water on yourself. Physically block shit. I mean, like, shut shit down.
Yes.
Whatever. Tell your constituents what you need us to do, and we'll do it. And that's why. So I work a lot with a group named FLAIR in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
It stands for Liberation and Resistance Everywhere. FLAIR. FLAIRUSA.org. And they are a relatively small group of really committed people who have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week presence in Washington, D.C. They've been decamped twice by the feds illegally. There's an ACLU lawsuit in the works. But they have somebody sitting at a table at their tent 24 hours a day, every single day, even when it's 20 degrees, and 6-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, because that's the way they can maintain the protest encampment, you know, whatever. But we're leading citizens into Congress every Monday, and so we get a group of people together. Sometimes it's 100 people. On September 2nd, it was 1,500 people.
What?
On November 20th, it was about 1,200 people. And nobody does that. The NRA doesn't do it. The pro-life people don't do it. Nobody's leading 1,500 people into Congress. But we are, and we could use all the help we could get, flairusa.org. But we're going in and we're going into Dems offices and we're saying what I just said. Impeachment's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, please find another job because we're going to make sure you lose yours.
Yeah.
And we're going into Republicans' offices and we're saying, this is fascism and it's going to fail here like it's failed everywhere else in the world throughout history. And when it fails, everyone who enabled it is going to be held accountable by the citizens. Forget the government. The citizens of this country are going to hold you accountable. We are coming by today to make sure you understand that so that you can't pretend later that you didn't know. We're going to hold you accountable. And what if we could lead 1,500 people into Congress every Monday? You know?
Yeah. Look, so I talked to this professor yesterday. Really great conversation. I think we're going to air it over the weekend, but his name's Min Lee. And he wrote a new book about the sort of foundational layer of democracy, which he calls accountability. And he's like, if you know, the autocrat always says he behaves and he acts upon the will of the people, but there's no such thing as the will of the people. There's no monolith. All there is accountability from the very bottom. And it's why autocrats hate protest. They hate free speech. They absolutely hate it. They always disrupt education, because in education you're collaborative and you're thinking independently, right? It is all of these things, and I love that this idea of accountability is really picking up steam. It is the bare minimum that we need to hold a democracy, is the ability to hold our leaders accountable. He did this. He had this amazing analogy. He was like, "Look, you go to a small village, you give the sheriff a gun, and without accountability, he'll terrorize all of you, right?"
Yeah.
You have to be able to hold him accountable for his behavior with that power. And right now, Trump has a gun and no accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's it can't continue, or we're not gonna be a democratic republic. You know, it's just
No.
like, it's just, that's all there is to it. And my sort of 40,000 foot view, or whatever they call it, is that this guy cheated in everything he's ever done. He's cheated on every woman he's been with, cheated on every family he's had. He's cheated at golf. He's cheated on taxes. He's cheated on loans and lending and bankruptcies and businesses and investors and partners. Um, and in the 2020 election, we know that they built a slate of fake electors. They called themselves fake electors. And in their email correspondence, at some point, they go, "Hey, maybe we should stop calling ourselves fake electors." Um, and then he got the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to storm the Capitol. And a lot of people don't know this. The whole mission of storming the Capitol was to find the real electors, to find all those documents, and to take that. They wanted to
Right.
take the they wanted to physically jam up the process.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know, he wanted the magnometers removed. He wanted his people to be able to go in there armed.
Yeah.
And the last thing a lot of people don't know about January 6th, it was 10,000 people. And he paid them $12 million collectively through his different little PACs and whatnot.
Well, and
The,
pardoned all of them.
the last protest that I was part of, that I was part of planning, was almost 40,000 people.
Wow.
So just reiterating, like, his support isn't real. It's bots and boomers and betas. It's not real. 60% of the people insulting you online aren't people, or they're doing it on 500 cell phones at once from India.
Yeah.
But this whole the whole premise of what I'm saying is that he cheats. He cheats on everything. So here's the guy who's literally cheated on probably everything he's done since he was 5 years old. Do you really think this last election was fair and free and accurate? And do you think the next one will be? My answer to both those questions is no. So what are we going to do about it? Because if we're going to continue at the level of resistance we're at now, we're cooked. We're done. We are no
Yeah.
longer a democracy. We no longer have a democratically elected Congress or president, and we are in a fascist dictatorship. So I hope that the midterms are a red line for most real Americans, uh, because if they're not, the country, it's over. The American experiment is over. And if they are your red line, I'm telling you, it's about a 99% chance that your red line is going to be met. So in the meantime, you're either procrastinating or preparing. And I
Right.
sure hope that everybody watching is preparing for your red line to be met, because I can tell you with a lot of confidence that it will, unless mechanisms inside government, military intelligence, law enforcement stop that from happening.
Yep.
But so far they have been literally impotent in every way. I personally don't expect that to change. So saving this country is going to fall on the shoulders of its citizens, and everybody needs to really begin to prepare for that in every way, mentally, emotionally, physically. That's what
I
it's going to
agree.
come down to.
Well, speaking of preparing for it, you have an event coming up that I really am excited about, and I wish I could go, because it's an event, not a rally exactly,
Right.
but right.
Just
Uh,
just a
here's
show.
Tell me about this event.
So I named it 3 miles to Mar-a-Lago because it's almost exactly 3 miles from his house. It's a nice, big outdoor amphitheater right in the middle of West Palm Beach, right in the middle of downtown, walkable to all the shops and restaurants and bars.
Amazing.
I'm going to be doing stand-up comedy. Earth to Eve is going to be performing some of her incredible music.
That's
Anybody
amazing.
that's Anybody that's not familiar with her, she has the No King song, Threat Level Orange. Have you heard the news today? If you haven't heard Earth to Eve, you got to go support her. Her music is real. It will be historic. Like it is
I agree.
some of the best protest music of this moment. And Robert Arnold, who is Defiance 13 on social media, he ends every poem with Defiance till death. He's a poet, and he drops a poem about every major thing that happens, and they are gut wrenching and beautiful and like soul crushing but inspiring. And so uh, this day is going to start with one of Robert's poems, one of Eve's songs. I'm going to be giving little mini speeches in between speakers. We have Dr. Ali Muhammad from the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. We have some congressional candidates like Bernard Taylor, who's a fireman running in Florida. Um, we have
Amazing.
Carlos Alvarez Araños from American Opposition. And so the event is at 2 o'clock, and it's going to wrap up around 4:30. And I'm just encouraging people to wear comfortable shoes in case they want to take a walk after the event, uh, because nothing upsets a fascist more than you showing them that you're not scared by making your voice really loud and making yourself very visible right in their backyard.
That's right. Yeah, I do a lot of these conversations, all pro democracy, and the one theme that keeps coming back, aside from accountability, is this: we have to look at them and say, "I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of you."
One of my favorite little, I think I made it up, but I could be wrong, but I've been saying it since the beginning of this fight, is fascists feed on fear, and it's time to starve them.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. Well, I'm going to put that up again because I want to. I hope, like, could you send us pictures
Oh, absolutely.
so that we can post them? If
Yeah,
you
and I'm
guys,
happy
anybody's
to
in
come on and
Florida,
do an update too.
yeah, for sure. Anybody's in Florida, get your tickets. You can see comediancliffcash.com for details. And if you're there, send pictures. I think it's going to be a pretty good. I'm man. I wish I could be there. Also, I wish I could be there because it's also upstate New York and it's fucking cold here, and I don't want to be here anymore right now.
I bet.
But that's another thing.
Yeah,
Like,
if fly in. If you Even if you don't live in Florida, fly in. And if you can't be there, do me a favor and tell everybody you know that's near West Palm, Pompano, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Boca, even Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, all those areas. We need numbers. We need big numbers. We need to really be heard and seen and felt that day. And I think it can really make a splash. My humble opinion is that this administration, at least popular opinion wise, is really on the ropes. And having a few thousand people show up with impeach the pedophile signs in his
Yep.
backyard, that's an uppercut to somebody who's already on the ropes. When they're on the ropes, that's when you need to hit the hardest, and that's what we're
Agree.
trying to do with this. And I want to be clear that I'm making this a ticketed show because that's kind of what I have to do to satisfy the town of West Palm Beach. But the ticket price is covering the event as a whole. There'll also be a nighttime after party for anybody that buys VIP tickets. But
Well,
we have to do
amazing.
things. We have to do security, police, EMTs, um, porta johns, cleaning, sound system. A lot of money goes into this. Anything that's left over after all of those efforts, that money is going to be divided up amongst the nonprofits that are helping me do this. So when we did that event in DC,
Yep.
um, we what I did was that basically that day it was like we were throwing a giant outdoor concert. We had to
Right.
build a stage. We had to build these like 15-foot tall screens, crazy loud sound system. We had the Dropkick Murphys. We had Earth to Eve. We had security and porta johns and tents and everything you can imagine. And of course it was free. You just show up. But the way that we paid for that was I organized 3 nighttime events, a comedy show, a music show, and a meet and greet with influencers. And those were all ticketed. And that money raised from those ticketed events paid for that big rally that day.
Yep.
So I am not 5051 or Indivisible or Move On. I am not some big nonprofit with $10 million in the coffers where I can just write a check every time I do an event. Every time I do an event like this, I'm starting from $0 because the last one I did, I gave the excess money away because to me that feels like the most optimistic and transparent way to do it. So at the end of that DC event, what I personally had control over financially was almost 30,000, and I gave all of that to Flair, who is the group I mentioned in the beginning of the interview,
Right.
who's leading citizens into Congress every day. They're also protesting Heritage Foundation every week. They're
Yep.
protesting ICE. They're protesting at the White House. They're protesting at Butterworth's, which is the cult hangout. It's a shithole restaurant that Steve Bannon likes to go in. He's got his little Jabba the Hutt
Ugh.
set up in there. He goes in there and oozes slime all over the place.
Ugh.
But and so we'll do that again. I'm working with like off the top of my head 5 or 6 nonprofits to
Yep.
realize this next weekend, and whatever we have, if we have excess, it'll be divvied up between those nonprofits.
And I gotta say, this is real grassroots, right?
As
Like this
grassroots
is
as it can be.
as yeah, exactly. And everyone in the chat, everyone watching our shows is always like, well, what can we do? I don't know, man. Talk to Cliff Cash because what are you doing right now? If you're like, look, for sure, get informed, watch shows like this, go to see events, go to do all the things, but get involved. Just really get involved.
And
That's what's
if
going to save us.
and if you feel like your leaders aren't doing enough and that it's soft and it's toothless and it's ineffective, and if you feel like these big national days that are happening once every 6 weeks where you're being asked to go to a park, um, if you're feeling frustrated with all of that, I would love your support because my explicitly, I'm trying to not be toothless and soft and ineffective.
Yeah.
Uh, a month ago, I was out in front of Broadview in Chicago in 12-degree weather, screaming at the top of my lungs. A week later, I was outside of Alligator Auschwitz with the families of people being detained there. A week later, I was in Minneapolis at Whipple and at the Alex Preddy and Renee Good memorials and vigils. And this coming weekend, I'm at Mar-a-Lago. So like,
Yeah.
and I'm just doing comedy shows here and there to pay for my travel to go and do this political stuff. I'm not trying to profit from it. I'm not trying to get notoriety for it. I want to beat Nazis back into the pages of the history books because, to be completely candid, I don't want to do any of this. I very much want to beat them and get back to my life, which is 2 adorable little boys, a beautiful fiance, working on old cars, doing stand-up comedy, hiking. I don't want to do politics for a hobby. I don't think it's that fun. So I really, really appreciate any support, even if it's $1, it adds up. You can kind of visit my social media and see the things that I've done. I've built websites like donaldlovesvladimir.com, epsteinsbestfriend.com. I've plastered that stuff on billboard trucks and circled it around Mar-a-Lago and the White House. And I've been organizing protests all over the country as I tour doing stand-up comedy.
Amazing. Well, Cliff, you got to send pictures, send dispatches from the event. I'll check in next week. Man, thanks for joining. Just
Yeah, dude.
really, really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, man. I'd love to hop back on as soon as my voice comes back. I have a feeling I'm going to lose it next weekend completely.
I'm sure you will. All right.
A lot of
Thanks, Cliff.
megaphones.